Hey, here we go about graphing. So first, put your first and last names. Make sure you're on the side that has these two pictures on there. So these two are already done. They're already graphed for us. So let's just highlight. So my question to you, if this is already done, which part of this graph is the solution is your final answer? Wait, you said the gray part, and I see 3 gray parts. Be more specific. The darker spot. So maybe just emphasize that on your notes. Okay, so this part where they both overlap, that would be your final answer. Let me pause this because you. So now that you all have pencils, what about the second graph? Guys, is there any overlap on that second one? No. So what's the solution on this one? Perfect. Just write no solution. So on this first one, emphasize where they overlap. On this next to it, just write this one doesn't have a solution. If you ever graph two inequalities that don't overlap, just write it's no solution. Okay. All right, on your notes, jump past straight into graphing. You guys are really good at this, so let's go one at a time. Again, use your pencil just to be safe. Here we go with the first one. It's already in slope-intercept form, so I start with the 2. So we go up 2 and we make a dot. And then this slope, can I get a hand in there? What's the slope if there's nothing in front of the x? Here, go ahead. It's 1, and then adjust that. It's going to be 1 over 1. Perfect. So go back to your 2. Go up 1 over 1. Connect it. Shout it out, guys. Solid or dotted on this one? All right, dotted. Good luck. Okay, and let's shade this one right now. Do you guys want to use 0, 0 on this? Okay, so 0, 0 is right there. I'm going to put an X. So coming back to this one, that would be 0, eating the 0, 0 for the X plus 2. So that would just be 0 is getting eaten, 2 on this side. Do we like that? Would it rather eat the 0 or the 2? So is this bad or good? Bad. So we don't want to shade on the bad side, so this one is shaded this way.
Wait.
Question, Jake.
Can you use 0, 0 for the next?
Why not? He asked, can we use 0, 0 for the next one? Maybe. It just depends if it crosses it. Okay, I'm going to change up the colors. We have one graph on here, and we're going to put our second one on there. So start at the -1. So drop 1, put a dot. And then go to the -2. That's the M. -2 over what, guys? All right, so drop 2, 1, 2, over 1. Check yourselves. Solid or dotted on this one? What is it? Solid. Connect it. Jake, I think we can use the 0, 0 because it didn't go through the 0.
So I was just wondering because you used it for the other one.
Oh,
yeah. You could use it.
That's okay. If you use it for the first one, go for it. And you usually can use it for the second one. Well, I don't want to say usually, but you can if it's appropriate. Thanks for asking, Jake. All right, so let's stick that 0, 0 in there. So 0 right there. Less than or equal to -2. That would be a 0 where the x is. -1. Okay, shout it out. What's -2 times 0? Yeah, so that would be 0 minus 1. All right, would it rather eat the 0 or the -1? Wait, so does this go to bad? All right, this is bad, so don't shade over that 0. So we want to shade this way. Yes. Now, here's where you finalize it. Here's the new concept for today. So on my graph on the board, where the purple and the red are overlapping, that's your final answer. So you guys with your pencils, you're just going to emphasize that part where they're doubling up. So right here is the final answer. It's where they overlap. That's where you shade. Just make it darker, so that way you can tell. Question, Ashley. Thanks for raising your hand. Okay, her question was, do we need to shade the first one, or do we not even need the first one? Technically, you do, because you need to see where it's shading, so you can see where it's overlapping on the second one. We'll keep going with that. That's a great question. Okay, any questions on this first one? I want to go to another example. Okay, flip over. Okay, let's start with that first one. So it's in slope-intercept form. We love the slope-intercept form. So start with the 4. So go up 1, 2, 3, 4, make a dot. Guys, what's in front of that x? A negative and a 1, right? So let's put negative 1 over 1. So that means we've got to drop 1 and go over 1. Drop 1 over 1. Solid or dotted? Okay, connect it. Good job, guys. All right, what do you think? Can we use 0, 0? Why not? Let's use 0, 0. So 0, 0 is right here. So sticking it in, that would be 0 is greater than negative 0 plus 4. Guys, can you have a negative 0? That doesn't make sense. So that's just going to be 0 is greater than 4. I check it. Would it rather be the 0 or the 4? Is that good or bad? So don't shade over the x because it turned out bad. So shade above this. Alright, and then I'm going to switch up colors so you can see the overlap. Okay, let's go through our steps on the next one. So slope intercept form, yes. So drop 1, make a dot. From that 1, we're going to go negative 1 over 1, just like the last one. Alright, solid or dotted? Okay, dotted. Should we use 0, 0 again? Yeah, why not? Alright, so 0, 0 again. That means for the y we'd have a 0, then we'd have a less than negative 0 minus 1. No such thing as a negative 0. Negative 1 times 0 is 0. Alright, check yourselves. Would it rather be 0 than negative 1? 0. So this is bad, right? Nice, guys. Heard you all saying no solution. These ones won't ever overlap. Do you see that? So what do we write if they don't overlap? Perfect. You're listening right from the beginning. We love it. Okay, Jake's question is, what if, he understands that this one is a no solution, but what if you come up with a graph, and it turns out on the graph, for example, it doesn't work for this one, but what if we shade it this way?
Yeah.
Like that? You still got to think to yourself, where is it overlapping? Is it overlapping down here?
No.
Definitely not. What about the middle? No.
So it's overlapping at the top.
At the top. So that would be the overlap. That's a great question, Jake. I think it comes up on your assignment. So good job. You're reading our minds. Next ones. Okay, so don't throw these ones up. We keep going over these. You should be pros at these. So this one you can do the put in 0 for the x. You can do 0x for the slope. Or you can make a table. I don't know about you, but I kind of prefer the tables. So for this first one, x and y, well, what has to be plugged in for y? Negative 1 on both. Does it matter what we put in for x? Nah, be nice to yourself. Let's do 0 and 1. So be careful when you grab those points. So that first one is 0, negative 1. So move nowhere in the x direction, drop 1 in the y. Next one, 1 in the x direction, negative 1 in the y. Connect them. Before you connect them, solid or dotted? Okay, dotted. Alright, let's plug in. Should we just do 0? Alright, so the only place we can put 0 on this one is right here for the y. It's kind of nice. Would you rather eat the 0 or the negative 1? So this is good, right? Because it is eating the 0. So shade above. Okay, I'm going to do my t-chart for the x inequality on the other side. So x over here, y over here. We shut out, what are the only possible values for x? Has to be 0. Does it matter what we put in for y? Should we just do 0 and 1? Okay. Alright, let me change up the colors on the graph. So be careful when you graph this. So this one, 0, 0. That means we can't use that for a test point. And then 0, 1. Guys, be careful with this. Which way do you go 1? You go up. Because this is the x. 0 in the x direction, 1 in the y direction. Alright, is this solid or dotted? Dotted. Okay, should we, we can't use 0. So, what do you want to use then? 1? Okay, so we put 1 right here. Would it rather, and the 1's right here on the graph, would it rather be the 1 or the 0? So shoot, this is bad, right, Max? So don't shade the bad way, shade this way. Oh, do you see the overlap? At the top left corner, do you see that? So just make it a little bit darker with your pencils. So right here, where it's overlapping, that would be our final answer. Okay, let's do another one. Oh, this one's pretty nice. Everything's done for us. We've got our y-intercept, we've got our slope, So on this one, Ellie, where do we start on this first inequality? The 2, and what do we do with the 2? Perfect, Ellie. Okay, Bronson, where do we go from here? We've got 2 right here, from right there. What do we do next? Perfect, he said down 2 over 1. Class, solid or dotted? Okay, dotted. Colton, what test point do you want to use? Alright, 0, 0. So this would be 0, this whole thing would be 0. So is 0 bigger than 2? No, so we don't want to shade that way. So we want to shade above it. Okay. Alright, Kaylee, tell me where to start on the next inequality. Positive 1. Okay, I've got a dot. Now what, Kaylee? Perfect. She said up 1 over 1. How did you know? Perfect. She said the variable always has a 1 in front of it. Perfect. Alright, class, solid or dotted? Alright, solid. Okay. Testing point, should we just use 0 again? Love when we can use 0. Alright, so 0 here, 0 here. So is 0 less than or equal to 1? Okay, we're good. So we want to color over that mark. Oh, I see. Do you see the overlap? Yeah? So just that part a little bit darker. So that would be the solution.